Hello again from the National Pulses Seminar 2021 from IPGA. Coming up now is the Tour Urad and Moong panel led by Mr. Lalit Bangar, Senior Vice President and Head Agri, Swiss Singapore Overseas Enterprises Private Limited, and accompanied with co-panelists Mr. B. Krishnamurthy, Managing Director 4Ps International, Mr. Vikram Thakkar, Managing Director Hariom Industries, Mr. Piyush Patel, Managing Partner Angur Pulses, and we hopefully will have Mr. Samir Esmail, Director Afrisian Guinea Limited. He is facing some technical trouble. Our team is helping him to join in. So hopefully he will be able to, and as soon as he does, we will bring him into the panel. So I am now going to hand over to Mr. Lalit Bangar, who is a qualified chartered accountant, currently serving as Senior Vice President and Head Agri at Swiss Singapore Overseas Enterprises, a $5 billion international commodity trading company, which is a part of the US $48 billion Aditya Birla Group. After being in Singapore for over 17 years, Mr. Bangar moved to Dubai in the early 2015. He has great passion for the industry and has been a known speaker on various international pulses forum. We also had the privilege of having him moderate and speak at the Pulses Conclave on a number of our Pulses Conclave editions. He has many years of enriching experience in the international pulses trade from various origins to various destinations. And most of all, which I love about him, is he's an extremely approachable person and enjoys a hearty networking idea with people. He loves to engage with people. Hopefully we will have an extremely engaging panel discussion here with Mr. Bangar leading the team. Over to you, Mr. Bangar.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep, for a quite elaborative introduction, which I might not deserve, but thanks for that anyway.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Bangar. I'm happy to say Mr. Samir Esmail has managed to join us also on the panel.
Very good. So internet, that problem is solved. Very good. Welcome, Samir. Yep. Okay. So thanks, Mr. Pradeep, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all our viewers and listeners, wherever they are situated in the world. I know that this convention is being watched and seen by many of us, a huge audience and spectatorship we have. So I have a panel of eminent speakers and their experts in respective fields and products. First of all, I would like to call upon Mr. Piyush Patel. वो आपसे हिंदी में बात करेंगे और मैं भी उनसे हिंदी में चर्चा करूंगा. शायद आपको वापस अंग्रेजी में हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजर ने सुविधा दी है कि वो भी अंग्रेजी में उसको साथ में सुन सकेंगे. तो मिस्टर पीयूष पटेल अंगूर पल्सेस वासठ गुजरात में मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर हैं और इनकी अंगूर ब्रांड से इनकी बहुत सी दालें हैं जो दुनिया पूरे विश्व में और पूरे हिंदुस्तान में जो है प्रचलित हैं. 6 डिकेड से अंगूर ब्रांड बहुत पॉपुलर है और ये मिस्टर पटेल 3rd जनरेशन लीडर है. इनकी क्वालिटी और सर्विस हमेशा से लाजवाब रही है और इन्होंने इंडस्ट्री को काफ़ी तरह से बहुत सालों से सपोर्ट किया है और न सिर्फ ये बिजनेस बल्कि अपने सोशल सर्विस और सोसाइटी को भी ये बाकायदा अपना योगदान देते हैं टेक्निकल एजुकेशन देने के हिसाब से. तो मिस्टर पीयूष पटेल आपसे टूर के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे. टूर एक्सपर्ट है, वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट मिल, सबसे बड़ी मिल इनकी है. तो पीयूष पटेल जी, ओवर टू यू. जी.
पीयूष जी, ब्लूटूथ हेडफोन्स निकाल के आप लैपटॉप के साउंड से बात कीजिए क्योंकि वो अदरवाइज ब्लूटूथ कनेक्शन कट जाता है, फिर आपकी आवाज नहीं आती. पीयूष जी, लैपटॉप का ब्लूटूथ कनेक्शन बंद कर दीजिए.
I think Piyush has got some problem with his system there. So, Mr. Pradeep, may I call upon Mr. Vikram in that case till the time this is resolved?
In that case, let Vikram.
Yes, sir. Please. You can shuffle the order. No problem.
Fine. By the time this technical glitch is resolved, fine. So then we have Mr. Vikram Thakkar, who is the managing director of Hariom Industry, and he's got a rich experience and good business skills and exemplary knowledge of Moong, especially Moong and other pulses processing. So he's a Moong king, I can say that. He's also monitoring the world trends of specifically to Mung Beans, and he's a bachelor degree of commerce. Then he completed diploma in import and export, and he joined pulse mill industry in 1996. He was also the vice president of Gujarat Dal Mill Association, and he is known for his team approach and in a proper professional organization running skill. And he's been working for sustainable company growth. He'll have to do social work also. And he serves as the district secretary of Rotary Club. A family man, Mr. Vikram Thakkar, over to you for Moong discussion.
Thank you, Bangarji. Good evening to all. As moderator has already given my introduction, so without wasting our time, let's begin with the presentation. First, I would like to thank IPGA for inviting me and giving an opportunity to share my knowledge with all of you. So let's start with the basic information regarding the Moong. Moong is majorly used for human consumption due to their easily digestible nature. They are appropriated for the people of every age. India is the largest producer, importer, and consumer of Moong in the world. Now let's have a look on the health benefit of Mung beans. It has so many benefits such as its health, heart disease, good for weight loss, good source of vitamin C, vitamin K, and great source of folate. Here is the crop cycle of Mung beans in India. In India, Mung is cultivated in 3 different seasons like Kharif, Rabi, and summer. However, primarily Mung is Kharif season crop. The crop needs high temperature, less humidity, and moderate rainfall. As we can see that the Kharif season sowing starts from the month of July to August, and harvesting starts from the month of September to October. While in the Rabi season, sowing starts from the October and harvesting starts from January to February. And in summer season, sowing starts from January to April and harvesting starts from March to June. So this is the entire crop cycle of Mung beans in India. Here is the state-wise sowing season of Mung beans in India. As we can see that major state sowing start in the Kharif season. This is the value chain of commodity. As harvesting is done, farmer can move to the government agency like NAFED or aggregator like APMC. Here also we see broker and mediator can move to the aggregator as well. Now from the aggregator, it moves to the trader or to exporters. And from the government agency also can move to the traders. Now from the traders, it's moved directly to processor or via broker. Processor also can import Mung beans via government quota, and from the processor, it's finally moved to the consumers. This is the list of major global producer of Mung beans. The major regional market for the product are North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, Latin America, Middle East, and Africa. Here the statewide production scenario of mung beans. We can see Rajasthan is leading among the other state with approx 60% of production. Here we can see the analysis area of wise production into the different states in India, year 2090 and 2020. Again, Rajasthan is leading the position with the area of approx 23 lakh hectare, against which the production is done around the 13 lakh tons. This is the state-wise production estimate. Here we can see area and production detail of the last 2 years, along with the future estimated 2020-2021. This is the overall data of mung production in India from the year 2006 to 2021. Now let's have a look on MSP of mung beans announced by government. We can see in above figure, the graph is moving in the upward position. At 2018-19, the price was 6,975 per quintal, while 2020-21, the price has increased as 7,196 per quintal. As mung can grow in all season, area-wise, we can not have any shortfall in mung. Good rainfall in last season in India, we can see buffer stock, crop in coming season. So we have enough stock of mung beans. Let's move the monthly prices volatility. As shown in the graph, the price remained same in the month of January to March, which was 7,400 in beginning of the month and end with the 7,700. Now here we can see one more scenario in the month of March during lockdown. Due to high demand in the market, price was increased from 8,000 to 8,500, and there was good jump in the month of April too. Price was increased by 9,200, and as summer crop started in month of May to July, price again come into the considered zone from the 5,800 to 6,500. Here is the domestic trade volume of mung beans. As per global analysis, mung beans market attained a volume of 32.29 million tons in 2020, driven by rising health concern among the consumers and the launch of various programs by governments to aid farmers and assist them with modern methods, allied by the increasing product demand from the vegan population and growing trial to develop enhanced products formulation. This is the price factor and opportunity for upcoming years. Price affecting price, factors affecting price, mung beans crops situation in the countries from where India is importing mung, insufficient rainfall at the growth period, and heavy rainfall at the maturity period affect all our production. Price is other competitive price of other competitive pulses, and opportunities are the global mung beans market size reached volume of almost 32.29 million tons in 2020. The market is expected growth at the 4.5 between 2020, 2021 and 2026. Overall world consumption will be increased due to COVID-19. Price factor for green mung beans. As we can see, the chart price of mung increased in the month of March and April. From last couple of years, we also had seen great decline as summer crop come into the market in the month of May to July. So we suggest to sell and take exit in the month of March and April, where every year good demand comes and there will be good buying opportunity in the month of May to July. And in the month of June, around 6,500 in reverse to 6,000, it will be good opportunity to re-enter the market. As good rain in India, especially belt of Madhya Pradesh, we predict showing approx 3.5 lakh hectare for coming summer season. And we can also get return around 10 to 12% before Diwali. Thanking IPGA for giving me a proper time to share my knowledge on mung beans. Thank you. Over to Bangarji. Bangarji, you are not unmuted.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So you have spoken about the Indian scenario. So can you just take us to the key industrial trend of global mung situation also? Because mung is such a product that which is universally consumed, unlike other pulses which have specialized specific countries of consumptions. So can you just briefly, maybe in a minute, you can take through the key industry trend of mung, global mung situation or markets?
The key trend guided the growth of market, including the growing research activity to develop new plants base, formulation for the food product, and the growing demand of such beans from vegan population. Through Krishi University and other agencies, government can improve the quality of mung beans, and that we can grow this.
Okay, and now of late there are a lot of other uses of mung beans also, that there's some protein-based snacks and food, and like Beyond Burger or Beyond Meat, and those are getting very popular among the young generation. Okay, thank you, Mr. Vikram. I will come back to you after a few more deliberation from our other panelists. Now I introduce Mr. V. Krishnamurthy. Of course, as Mr. Pradeep said, he does not need an introduction, but it's my duty to. He's a chartered accountant and company secretary, a unique combination for professional angle, and he's a managing director of 4P International, which he started some time back, and he's managing a different capacity for last 15 years. And his main product is black mud pay, which he's for last 2 decades he has been milling and trading. They got a good name for the quality, and they command good reputation and goodwill in the market. He has served as the secretary of Tamil Nadu Pulses Import Association also, and he has represented the industry with Chennai Customs, Port, and other authority. Whenever there is some issues or some problems, he really takes this on to those agencies. And he is now popular in the various print and electronic media of late to share his views on black mud pay after his last debate or discussion organized by IPGA, which was quite interesting, and we all watched with great interest. So, and he's a speaker, of course, on IPGA Conclave. He's a good friend of mine, and I would call upon Mr. Murthy to share about it. He's especially on Urad, which is certainly a very interesting product. Thank you. Mr. Murthy, please.
Thank you, Mr. Bangar. Such a nice introduction about me. I will take about 6 to 7 minutes, and I will speak in such a way that even a layman can understand about Urad. So give me this 7 minutes time, so that I will just give a bird's eye view of what is happening about Urad. Now, and I also speak in such a way that even layman can understand.
Please.
Hello, distinguished panelists, distinguished guests and friends and colleagues from industry. A very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I profusely thank IPGA for this opportunity. It's my privilege to be a panelist in this August discussion on Thakkar, Urad and Moong. I'm advised to give my perspective on India Urad production, price and trade volumes and expectations for the forthcoming year. Let me make a small introduction about this particular pulse Urad. It's popularly known as black gram, and in international trade parlance, it is known as black mud pay. Its botanical name is Vikram. This is a very popular pulse, mainly in South India, and chiefly used for breakfast snacks like idli, vada, dosa, etc. that everybody knows. It's very popular not only now in South India, it's also very popular now across the world, I would say, not only India, but also the world. For example, when I went to Israel about 2 years back as a delegate of South India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I had the opportunity to eat one snack called falafel. And falafel, an ingredient of falafel is urad dal. I was very surprised to see this. And well, if you go to USA and all that, there are so many lakhs of Indians, they all use urad dal in their breakfast snacks. Black gram is very nutritious and is very good for health. It has roughly 28% protein content on its dry weight basis and supplies dietary fiber, vitamin B complex, iron, copper, calcium, magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, and it's also very good for healthy skin and hair. Black gram is grown mainly as Rabi and Kharif crop. Out of production in the country, nearly 25% of production comes from Rabi and 75% comes from Kharif. So now the Kharif is already over. Now we are into Rabi production now. This is mainly grown only in 2 countries, India and Myanmar. I have not come across any third country which has been growing urad, although Thailand used to grow, but somehow Thailand crop is not very successful and then buyers don't want to buy Thailand. I now understand that Brazil is trying out production of black gram also, but it is in a very nascent stage. So I would say that India is mainly, urad is mainly grown only in India and Myanmar. See, urad has a very peculiar characteristic, which other pulses don't have. For example, it has no substitute. For example, you take the case of tur. It has alternatives like lentils, peas, etc. If tur production is low and insufficient to meet domestic demand, consumers can shift to other pulses like lentils or peas, which have similar taste and protein content. Whereas if availability of urad is scarce, consumers have no choice but to buy this product, or else they have to forego its consumption. India has been meeting its domestic needs by steadily improving domestic crop size while importing only the shortfall from Myanmar. India's dependence on Myanmar has, in the recent years, been steadily declining, mainly for the reason that the domestic crop size has been steadily going up because of huge demand for domestic urad vis-a-vis the imported urad. For example, 2010-11, India produced 1.7 million tons of urad. In a span of 8 years, it went up to 3 million tons in the year 2018-19. This is as per the data available from Minister of Agriculture. So as a result, during the last 3 years, policy decisions have been taken to curtail imports by eliminating imports of urad from OGL and by introducing a quota system by the government of India, because there was no need for an unlimited supply from Myanmar. Also, farmers are constantly encouraged to shift from other crops to pulses like urad, as they find this crop to be very remunerative, especially because it is very good for preservation of soil, as well as the minimum price support being given by the government of India has been steadily and consistently going up. Like, for example, a decade ago, 10 years back, the MSP was 2,900 rupees. Now, in the year 2020, it is 6,000 rupees per quintal. So it is obviously a very good, I would say, incentive to the farmer to produce more of urad. I now come to production figures. I take the year as October 2020 to September 2021. See, there are two main cropping seasons, as I said, as Kharif and Rabi. Kharif is already over, but I just briefly explain what happened in Kharif. 2020 Kharif was sown in nearly 38 lakh hectares. And as you all know, Madhya Pradesh in the recent years has emerged to be the highest growing state with sowing of more than 40% of the total Kharif urad crop. Next is followed closely by Uttar Pradesh with 18%, Maharashtra and Rajasthan with 10% each, Gujarat and Karnataka with 3% each, and few other states contributing very insignificant numbers. Kharif started off very well with the good rains in June, but rains fell short in July. August literally dumped huge rains in almost all road-bearing states like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Karnataka, etc. Such heavy rains and huge rains were not seen in India in the last 44 years. Normally, such heavy sowing at 38 lakh hectares should ideally give an yield of approximately 29 lakh tons or 2.9 million tons. But I suspect because of this untimely, huge and torrential rains, actual production was not more than 11 lakh tons, which is a huge short supply. However, the government of India thinks that the crop size of Urad Kharif at 21.5 lakh tons as per their first advance estimate. My idea is, as I said before, the crop size during the crop Kharif was not more than 11 lakh tons. I guess my estimate turned out to be close to true because otherwise I give a simple reason. We have not even finished 5 months after the Kharif is harvested. Now we are only into February beginning. Already North Indian millers are coming into South India to buy Urad. Why do they come to South India to buy Urad when they have such a huge crop of 21 lakh tons as suggested by the government of India? I don't think that advance estimate is closer to the reality. I guess, but let me tell you firstly that all my figures are given based out of my own personal experience and my own personal estimate. So please don't think, this is something very scientifically done or very mathematically done. I have my own way of doing small calculations. Therefore, based on that, I'm telling the figures. So members or spectators or people who are listening to me, they may agree or they may not agree. This is a disclaimer. So looking at the demand from North India, from South India Urad, I presume that the Kharif crop was not more than 11 lakh tons. Now I come to Rabi season. So Rabi season, so far, as on 29th January, that's about 10 days back, the sowing was at around 8 lakh 10 lakh hectares, vis-a-vis 7 lakhs 50,000 hectares last year. This Rabi crop comes mainly from southern states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. Tamil Nadu and a part of Andhra Pradesh recently in the month of November experienced huge rains, which had adversely affected the standing crop of Urad, especially in Tamil Nadu. Ideally, this Rabi sowing of around 8.10 lakh tons should yield about 7 lakh tons of, ideally this sowing of 8.1 lakh hectares should ideally yield around 7 lakh tons of Urad. But taking into consideration the crop which is to be harvested post mid-March 2021, the crop size already harvested should have yielded at least 3.5 lakh tons. But I guess this much crop doesn't look like to have been harvested because prices continue to remain firm. My guess is total Rabi crop size won't cross more than 6.5 lakh tons. India is almost finishing its import quota issued by the government of India of about 150,000 tons. It's going to finish imports on or before the stipulated date of 31st March 2021. I hope Myanmar political situation won't create any hurdles. I guess now I come to consumption. Consumption of Urad in India, in my guesstimate, is approximately 21 to 22 lakh tons in the year 2020-21, although I normally maintain 22 to 24 lakh tons of Urad consumption every year. But I have reduced it by about 2 lakh tons because of the impact of COVID in the year 2020 and some other reasons. Considering the availability and consumption figures, I guess we are heading towards a stock situation where production, imports, and consumption are likely to match with each other. I also expect there might be a need to issue fresh permits faster so that imports continue to happen after 31st March 2021. As regards the forthcoming year, which IPGI requested me to give a view about forthcoming year, means 2021 October to 2022 October. If the rainfall is normal and if the rainfall is not abnormal, we could see huge urad production, which could run into easily 3 million tons, and which could result in considerable price drop. I'm talking about 2021-22. Please don't confuse. We are now in 2020-21. I'm estimating 2021-22 to be a plenty of urad year, provided rainfall is not abnormal. And why I am saying the crop would be so high at 3 million tons in the next 2021-22 is because urad prices have been very remunerative to the farmers, domestic farmers. And I'm very sure they are enthused to grow more and more, resulting in what I just said, huge production in the year 2021-22. I again wholeheartedly thank IPGA for this opportunity. And I will take any questions later on from the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murthy, for a quite insightful of your presentation, which is not in the PowerPoint form, but very in a plain language. Now, one question I would like to put it here itself, that if you see that the production is going to be so high, does it mean that going forward, the dependence on imports from Myanmar would be much lower?
See, 2020-21 Myanmar support is a must for us, because we are now running neck to neck in both consumption and demand. Consumption and supply. I'm
talking the next year, which you said you expect.
Next year, I presume I am very, very optimistic about the next year, provided the rider is the rains should be normal. If the rains are not abnormal, there will be just no need for any imports of urad from Myanmar. I can guarantee this to you in this seminar.
You are giving shocks to the Myanmar producers, Mr. Murthy.
No, that is quite far away.
I appreciate your patriotism feeling, you know.
Quite far away.
I know our personal discussion, which we had about 7 years back, when you said that India is going to be self-sufficient in future. And of course, they are on the way to it. But certainly, this is quite, I would say, eye-opening for everybody. Thank you so much.
You remember, I mentioned in the panel discussions that
in Delhi we discussed,
the crop price would be much higher, and it has turned out to be much higher.
Okay. अच्छा ठीक है, पीयूष पटेल जी, आपका प्रॉब्लम इंटरनेट का सॉल्व हो गया. कैन यू प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ? आप अनम्यूट कर दें. और आपका इंट्रोडक्शन मैं दे चुका था, तो अपने यू कैन स्टार्ट विद योर प्रेजेंटेशन प्लीज ऑन टूर.
सबसे पहले तो मैं आईपीजीए का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने हमको पैनल में आके डिस्कस करने का मौका दिया है, और मैं तुअर के बारे में मेरी राय रखना चाहता हूं. तो आपको मेरी बात सुनने के लिए मैं आपको सबसे पहले तो धन्यवाद देता हूं. तुअर के बारे में आज की जो सिचुएशन है, उसमें अगर बात करना है तो हमको थोड़ा आगे जाना पड़ेगा. यानी 2015 में जो ड्रॉट का सिचुएशन आया था, बारिश नहीं थी इंडिया में, तो तभी प्रोडक्शन 2015 में बहुत कम आया था. तो उसके बाद में मोदी जी ने सबको खेडूतों का आह्वान किया कि भाई आप तुअर की सोइंग कीजिए. मैं आपको गारंटी देता हूं कि मैं उसके लिए इंडिया में अपना इतना कंजम्पशन है. तो 2016 में सब इंडिया में बम्पर सोइंग हुआ, और 2017 से इंडिया में बम्पर प्रोडक्शन हुआ. तो ऑलमोस्ट से 42 से 45 लाख टन का इंडिया में प्रोडक्शन हुआ था 2017 में. तो उसकी वजह से इंडिया में प्राइसेस जो पल्सेस के हैं वो काफ़ी नीचे आ गए, और उसके बाद में गवर्नमेंट ने उसको जो प्राइसेस वापस स्टेबल करने के लिए काफ़ी सारा स्टेप्स उन्होंने लिया, जिसमें उन्होंने पहले ड्यूटी लगाई और बैन किया. लेकिन कुछ कंट्रीज ऐसे थे वहाँ पे एलडीसी में इंपोर्ट इंडिया में अलाउ था, तो उसकी वजह से प्राइस इतना कंट्रोल नहीं हो सका था, फिर बाद में उनको बैन करना पड़ा. तो वो सिचुएशन आगे आके धीरे धीरे अभी प्राइस स्टेबल होके वापस प्रोडक्शन, यानी जो एक बार बहुत जो बढ़ गया था, वो वापस धीरे धीरे अभी प्रोडक्शन नीचे आ रहा है. मानसून कंटिन्यूसली अपना इंडिया में अच्छा हो रहा है. एक भी बार यानी जो 2015 के बाद में फिर से ड्राउट का सिचुएशन नहीं आया. लेकिन अगर आज की सिचुएशन देखें तो 2015 में जो कोविड के कारण एक डिमांड में जंप आया था, और गवर्नमेंट ने चना डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया था, लेकिन साथ में तुअर को भी उसमें थोड़ा सपोर्ट मिला था. तो वो देखते हुए तुअर में धीरे धीरे लास्ट ईयर से प्राइस वापस स्टेबल होके धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ना चालू हुआ है. लेकिन फिर भी समझो जो लास्ट ईयर में गवर्नमेंट के पास बहुत सारा क्वांटिटी में स्टॉक था, और दूसरा डिमांड जो था बड़ा, वो भी एक बार कोविड के कारण एक बार डिमांड निकला, और बाद में धीरे धीरे डिमांड स्टेबल हो गया, तो उसके कारण प्राइस काफी स्टेबिलाइज हुआ। और बीच में एक पीरियड ऐसा आया कि जहाँ पे समझो मॉनसून का ऐसा इफेक्ट आया कि क्रॉप, जैसे उड़द का भी साहब ने बात किया मूर्ति जी ने कि क्रॉप उड़द में काफी फेल हो गया, तो सेंसिटिव क्रॉप है उड़द, लेकिन तुअर समझो बच गया ऐसा लगा। यानी तुअर का धीरे धीरे जैसे आगे गए, ऐसे तुअर का सबको ऐसा लगा कि तुअर का प्रोडक्शन एक बार तो खत्म हो गया ऐसा लगता था, उसके कारण प्राइस काफी बढ़ गया। इंडिया में जैसे गवर्नमेंट ने फिर बाद में उन्होंने सेलिंग अपना स्टार्ट किया, तो उसकी वजह से, और कोटा भी रिलीज किया, तो उसकी वजह से वापस प्राइस फिर नीचे आ गया। जैसे ही गवर्नमेंट ने कोटा डिक्लेयर किया तो वो टाइम बहुत शॉर्ट था, तो इसके लिए पहले एक बार तो इतना नीचे नहीं आया, लेकिन फिर से उन्होंने एक्सटेंशन जब भी दिया तो उन्होंने फिर वापस काफी सारा प्राइस नीचे आ गया। और सामने जो सोइंग था, सोइंग के फिगर्स थे जो काफी अच्छे थे, तो उसके कारण सबको लगा कि ये साल बम्पर क्रॉप आएगा, और उसके कारण इंडिया में काफी प्राइस घट गए थे। यानी ऑलमोस्ट अपन अगर कहे तो 25% प्राइस जो ऊपर के लेवल से वापस नीचे आ गए। ये मैं आपको बात करता हूँ अगस्त से लेके दिसंबर तक। और इंपोर्ट जो था वो गवर्नमेंट ने समझो पहले शॉर्ट टाइम दिया, उसमें जो फॉरेन जो बायर्स थे उन्होंने फ्रेट और उनका जो कंस्ट्रेंट था वो सब सेटल करने के लिए प्राइस ऊंचे में सबसे पहले तो व्यापार हुआ, और फिर धीरे धीरे करके जैसे ही एक्सटेंशन मिला तो प्राइस वापस घट गया। यानी एक तरह से देखें तो बहुत फ्लक्चुएशन का सिचुएशन तुअर में रहा। और अभी सिचुएशन समझो ये साल सोइंग के हिसाब से गवर्नमेंट का एस्टीमेट 4 लाख यानी 40 लाख मेट्रिक टन का एस्टीमेट था। उसमें भी समझो गवर्नमेंट ने नेक्स्ट एस्टीमेट अभी गवर्नमेंट का अभी आना है, लेकिन उससे पहले अगर देखें तो एक हमारा अंदाज से थोड़ा 1-2 लाख टन क्रॉप नीचे आएगा ऐसा लगता है। तो ओवरऑल अपना इंडिया का 42 से लेके 45 लाख मेट्रिक टन का इंडिया का कंजम्पशन है, और उसको इंडिया का अगर 38 लाख का अगर ये साल का अपन आउटपुट गिने तो उसके हिसाब से समझो इंपोर्ट जरूर है। इंपोर्ट ऑलरेडी आ गया है, लेकिन फिर भी समझो इंपोर्ट का दूसरा कोटा देना पड़ेगा। वो हिसाब से देखे तो आज की सिचुएशन में थोड़ा क्रॉप का शॉर्टफॉल है ऐसा लग रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी समझो अभी ये जो प्राइस अभी नीचे जाके जो वापस आ गया तो ये प्राइस पे अभी स्टेबल होना चाहिए। अभी ये रहा इंपोर्ट का डेटा। अभी उसके सामने लोकल साउथ का तुअर का अगर आउटपुट देखे तो साउथ में जैसे कर्नाटक, महाराष्ट्र, मेनली कर्नाटक, महाराष्ट्र, गुजरात और मध्य प्रदेश और यूपी, यानी ये मेजर रीजन है जहाँ पे तुअर होता है। तो कुछ कुछ सेक्टर में समझो इनपुट जो यानी जो आउटपुट है वो नॉर्मल हुआ है, और कुछ कुछ जगह पे डिफिशियंसी है, और कुछ कुछ जगह पे ज्यादा भी है। यानी अगर एक तरीके से अगर देखें तो ज्यादा शॉर्टफॉल नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन फिर भी अभी एक माहौल ऐसा है कि समझो माल कम आएगा, और उसकी वजह से ये प्राइस इतना तुअर का जो घट के इम्पोर्टेड का जो प्राइस था वो उसमें और देसी में दोनों में 5-10 रुपये का तेजी आ गया है। और
नहीं, थोड़ा सा मैं अपना कुछ सवाल रखना चाहूंगा। आपने कहा साउथ में कई जगह कम है, कहीं ज्यादा है और कहीं जगह इवन है, तो लेकिन पूरे जगत में अभी ये बात फैली हुई है कि तुअर का प्रोडक्शन 25 से 30% कम है, और उसका सीड और यील्ड भी कम है, सीड का साइज कम है। और तो ये आपका जो अभी जो आपने बयान दिया या कहा, जो आपने चीज कही है, ये इन चीजों से इतना मेल नहीं खा रहा है। तो इसका मतलब, क्योंकि ये तुअर की गोइंग फॉरवर्ड तुअर की प्राइसेस के लिए और तुअर की ओवरऑल प्रोडक्शन नंबर्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप जो कह रहे हैं कि बहुत ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है साउथ में, जबकि एक आमतौर पर धारणा बनी है कि 25 से 30% वहां पे यील्ड और प्रोडक्शन कम है।
यानी कुछ कुछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में कम है, लेकिन सामने कुछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में नॉर्मल भी है और कुछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ज्यादा भी है। यानी डिस्ट्रिक्ट वाइज अगर देखने जाए तो यानी रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से कुछ कुछ अभी जो आवक जो है वो तो सब जगह पे ज्यादा आ रहा है, आवक में कोई कमी नहीं है। खाली इतना है कि एस्टिमेट सबका ऐसा है कि भाई पीछे क्रॉप शॉर्ट पड़ेगा। दूसरा, डिमांड कैसा रहेगा उसका भी देखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अभी समझो ये प्राइस बढ़ रहा है तो डिमांड है कि ऊंचे प्राइस में डिमांड रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा। दूसरा, होटल इंडस्ट्री जो है वो अभी तक स्टेबल नहीं हुआ है कोविड के कारण। अभी कोविड का ये जो सिचुएशन है उसमें होटल इंडस्ट्री कब तक स्टेबल होगा, क्योंकि 20 to 30%, 25 to 30% अपना होटल इंडस्ट्री में कंज्यूम होता है तुअर दाल का मेनली। तो वो देखने जाए तो ये हिसाब से बाजार बढ़ेगा वो पक्का है, लेकिन सस्टेन कितना करेगा वो एक सवाल है। और उसके लिए मैं कुछ आपको डेटा भी प्रेजेंट करना चाहता हूँ.
Yeah, quickly. You got 2 minutes. Yeah.
Just a minute. Just a minute. सबसे पहले तो ये इंडिया का जो इंपोर्ट होता है उसमें कहाँ से, ये लास्ट ईयर 20 में कहाँ से हुआ, इसका एक प्रेजेंटेशन है. उसमें अपना मेजर लास्ट ईयर जो ICM के कारण मोजाम्बिक से मेजर इंपोर्ट हुआ है. दूसरा यानी जब परमिट इश्यू हुआ तो तभी मेन क्रॉप टांजानिया का था, इसके लिए टांजानिया सेकंड अपना सप्लायर है. और म्यांमार और समझो बर्मा और टांजानिया ने सेम क्वांटिटी सप्लाई किया है, और दूसरी सब कंट्री ने अपना थोड़ा थोड़ा हिस्सा उसमें ऐड किया है. आगे जाके समझो जो परसेंटेज जो लास्ट ईयर से ये साल अपन देखे तो उसमें कुछ मंथ में प्लस है, कुछ माइनस भी है. यानी कोटा इश्यू हुआ है तभी उसमें प्लस है, नहीं तो ओवरऑल समझो लास्ट ईयर से ये साल थोड़ा माइनस था ज्यादा करके मंथ्स में. ये मंथली अराइवल रिपोर्ट है, ये समझो पूरा साल का पूरा इतना ईयर में कितना होता है उसका एक ये रिपोर्ट है. तो वो हिसाब से देखे तो समझो जनवरी का अगर समझो देखे तो उसमें इनकम जो है देसी का वो उसमें कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा है. यानी मेरे कहने का मतलब वो था. और ये तुअर का एवरेज प्राइस है जो धीरे धीरे करके मैंने आपको बोला 2015 में जो ज्यादा था 17 में 16 17 में धीरे धीरे करके कम होके वापस अभी बढ़ रहा है. यानी ये ग्राफ कंटिन्यू करेगा कि नहीं करेगा वो सवाल है. ओके, तो अभी
धन्यवाद पीयूष जी. धन्यवाद पीयूष जी, आपका जो आपने तुअर के बारे में इंसाइट दी अपने क्लास
यानी
में.
तुअर का अभी कहने का मतलब ये है कि तुअर में तेजी आएगा बेशक, लेकिन कभी आएगा और कितना.
मैं प्राइस के लिए मैं आपसे लास्ट से फिर चर्चा करूंगा, जो कि सबके इंटरेस्ट का सब्जेक्ट वही रहेगा कि आगे चल के क्या प्राइस होने वाली है, क्या नहीं होने वाली है. अपने लास्ट में उस बात का चर्चा करेंगे. मैं अभी समीर जी के पास जा रहा हूँ.
खाली इतना है कि लास्ट ईयर गवर्नमेंट के पास स्टॉक था, ये साल गवर्नमेंट के पास स्टॉक नहीं है, वो एक प्लस पॉइंट भी है, यानी माइनस और प्लस दोनों है.
ठीक है, ठीक है. धन्यवाद पीयूष जी.
थैंक यू.
Now I would call upon Mr. Samir Esmail. Can I? Is he connected, sir?
Yes, I'm connected.
Oh, great, Samir. Yeah, Samir Esmail is the managing director and founder of Afrisian Jennings Limited. He's based out of Tanzania, and he's a graduate in economics and accountancy. And he started this company in 1995. He's a result-driven, self-motivated, and resourceful individual. And he has developed his business to a great height, and his experience in leading and growing the business has really built his organization is a progressive organization. And not only he's a entrepreneur, but he has got excellent communication skill and financial management abilities, which really helps in board governance, new business development, and other financial management principles. He has clear focus on high quality and, of course, to generate good business profits. So let us hear from Samir how we can take advantage of his expertise. Samir, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to join this. Is there any way you can join the Excel sheet I shared with you? Because I've had to connect from home.
Oh, you don't have that? Never mind. I'll try to dig it out. Anyway, you can carry on the numbers, please. Let me try.
Okay, so basically, if I let's talk about pigeon peas. Jayesh also mentioned this. We've seen a drop in production in Tanzania, and maybe more of a stable production in Malawi, Mozambique, because of the quota that has been available to ship pigeon production in East Africa is almost exclusively for the Indian market and highly dependent on the Indian markets.
I hope you can see the screen now. I shared the screen.
Yeah, I've just on that. So the first sheet just sort of shows the kinds of production
Samir, I think
Pigeon peas.
Samir, I think there is some issue in your audio.
Can say is that at the moment, no East African country has a carry forward stock of pigeon peas at least. In the last quarter, everything has been exported. Can you hear me now?
It's a bit disturbed. I think you can switch off your other Wi-Fi and other phone equipments.
I don't have anything else on.
Now better. Now looks better. Now it looks better. You can speak now.
Okay. So
sorry to interrupt. I think Samir, it would be a good idea if you keep your video switched off.
Samir, you can switch off your video, please.
That will help the connectivity.
The rush of all right, I will do that. Okay, so as I was saying, pigeon pea stocks in Sudan, where the crop probably is just about to start, but I'm not really an expert of Sudan. In terms of Tanzania, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, there is no carry forward pigeon pea stocks. India comes in with a new quota. We will not be able to supply until August, September this year, when the new crops are expected. The crops should not be significantly different to last year. Maybe Malawi, Mozambique remains to be seen because it's still dependent on the weather. If there is then the crops will be smaller. There has been a general switch away from producing pigeon peas to other products. I mean, chickpeas has definitely taken a big area from pigeon peas production. The prices last year were good, but I suspect they're not good enough to get pigeon peas to be produced in a significant manner. And then secondly, as far as green gram is concerned, green gram hasn't really been going into India in the last 1 or 2 years. The time that the quota has been issued in India has been very different to the time the crops are being harvested in East Africa. So most of the time, green grams have either been going to Pakistan or Middle East, the UAE. I guess I don't have much else to say except it would be nice if Tanzania is able to enjoy the like a bilateral agreement like the way Mozambique enjoys. That would at least allow production to stabilize in this area.
But is there any attempt from Tanzania government or the exporter body to really liaise with Indian government or try for issuance of those sort of quotas under ICM or a bilateral agreement, whether your government is doing anything in this regard?
I think the government is trying as far as our contacts are concerned. I know the Malawi government is trying a lot. So is the Tanzania government. They've all been trying and trying to get access to a more secure market. But I really am not in the position to comment where that has reached.
And this Mozambique agreement has been extended.
That's what I believe. The Mozambique
is under extension. So whether
I
it's
believe
been
the
done
Mozambique
for next 5 years,
has been extended for another 5 years.
So what are the farmers in mood to grow? Means what is the mood in Tanzania and those countries when they see not much home available now for their green moons to India, and pigeon peas also Last year, they saw the debacle when the quota was not announced earlier, and in the last minute, in the month of November, the quota was extended for a few, say about 45 days. Then Tanzania or other in African countries got a chance to export and dump their whole production to India. What are they? What do you see?
So the farmers have been switching wherever possible. They're definitely out of pigeon peas, into
Samir?
sunflower seeds, also into cotton. So there has been a switch out of pulses. Of course, yellow gram is one of those products which the farmers have switched into.
Okay, right.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, that's a different update. We are on that different panel, so fine. Okay, got your point. So we'll take again while discuss the price focus after a while. Thank you, Mr. Samir. And yeah, partly yes, fine.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Samir. And now, apart from the conducting this particular panel discussions, I'm given additional responsibility to present Myanmar as well. So I take you through the Myanmar situation, but don't worry, just virtually, not physically, because the situation down there is a bit known condition small. So rather than taking the geographical advantages of Myanmar and all which you all know, I will simply share one important vital number for Myanmar. I'm not taking you through the past year's numbers or what happened in last 5 years, what happened last year. This just one snapshot of what is going to happen this year in 2021 from Myanmar. You see the production of tour this year is expected 80,000 tons only, which is by any standard about 60% lower than usual production of 200,000 or most of the years. And if I take the carry-in from previous 2 years, it's 35,000 tons. For exports, it's just 105,000 tons. These numbers, of course, they don't have very strong scientific basis. This is a ballpark number. Can be used for your own purpose. Black market, the production this year is less by about 3%, as against usually 400,000 million tons is 350,000 estimated, and the carry-in is 80,000 tons, which is estimated as of now. This might be if the data are fulfilled or there is a current situation of political issues are continuing for a few more days. So this amount will change, but still the availability is 430,000 for this year. Moong is surprisingly here, the little carrying stock. Over a couple of years, the Moong has found its own way, not depending on India for imports, and they have the other markets like China, Vietnam, other neighboring countries. So as such, the Moong is not so much exported into India. And I believe under this year's quota also, very, very few quantity of Mung beans have been exported to India. So this would really put us to a situation where we see tour is short in Myanmar, tour is short in India, black matte is short in India and as well as in Myanmar, and Mung is a similar situation, more or less at par. So I'll leave upon our panelists for further discussion on this. And of late, there are a lot of challenges which is really bothering the situation in Myanmar. A couple of them are like recent political situation, which has just emerged on 1st of February. And today, the Biden also has put a sanction on some of the Myanmar nationals and some of those people and those parties involved there. So at this moment, there is a standstill situation. The exports has absolutely halted. Even the shipments which have taken place, there is a challenge with the documents. The government offices are not working. The phytosanitary certificates are not being issued. There are a couple of more challenges. The availability of containers, again, matching or matching the deadline of the imports into India. The arrival imports, like arrival of black market, must be there by 31st of March. So this situation is certainly going to have some effect on that also. So there, I would urge the IPGA and Indian government also that they should extend the quota of black market by a few weeks or a month to really accommodate such situation. And apart from that, you can see the changing mood of farmers in Myanmar. They have seen last year the delay in issuance of tur quota, and tur being 5 to 6 months harvesting crop. They did not seed or plant much of tur this year. You know, this is, I think, one of the lowest production of tur I have been seeing in last so many years, about 80,000 ton, just 80,000 ton. So
Lalit, 5 minutes, please.
Yeah, okay, fine. So this is the situation which is really changing in Myanmar, and black market also, the production has come down. So now I'll take final round with everybody, all of my panelists. Where do they really see the situation and prices going forward, which is of course interest to all our viewers. So first for tur, Piyush ji, मैं आपसे बात करूंगा, आप अपने आप को unmute करें. आपने देखा है कि इन बर्मा में भी स्टॉक कम है, अफ्रीका में जो समीर जी ने बताया कि फार्मर जो है धीरे धीरे स्विच कर रहे हैं दूसरे क्रॉप को, तो और इंडिया में भी जो कम दिख रहा है, आपके हिसाब से जो प्राइसेस हैं अभी के लेवल से, वो आप कहां देखते हैं?
यानी अभी के लेवल से आगे इंडिया का मॉनसून कैसा रहेगा, उसको भी जैसे आपने बोला 5-6 मंथ्स का क्रॉप है, तो ये मॉनसून अगला कैसा रहेगा उसके ऊपर डिपेंड है. अगर समझो अगला मॉनसून सही रहा तो ये और समझो 5-10% बढ़ने का उसमें गुंजाइश है. और समझो अगर मॉनसून का कुछ रिपोर्ट खराब आता है आगे जाके, तो उसमें फिर वापस बाजार 20-25% तक भी बढ़ सकता है. यानी फिर मार्केट में, लेकिन मॉनसून तक वेट करना चाहिए, उसके बाद में ज्यादा प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं.
तो आपको लगता है कि सरकार इस बार भी तूर खरीदेगी?
सरकार को खरीदने का टाइम, यानी उनका जो एमएसपी है उससे प्राइस ऊपर ही रहेगा, यानी सरकार को खरीदने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी. लास्ट ईयर जो सरकार ने माल लिया था वो माल अभी डायरेक्ट मिलर को जाएगा.
और अभी बहुत सी बड़ी कंपनियां भी आ रही हैं, कॉमन जो प्राइवेट कंपनीज है, रिलायंस, आईटीसी, दूसरी कंपनियां जो ले रही हैं, उससे भी आपको लगता नहीं है कि प्राइसेस पे फर्क पड़ेगा?
उनको भी बेचना तो पड़ेगा कभी ना कभी. यानी जो एक 5-10% का करेक्शन अगर आएगा तो फिर वो लोग बेचेंगे माल. तो
अच्छा, ठीक है. अच्छा,
प्राइस बढ़ेगा, वो बात सही है, लेकिन बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स भी है. जैसे कि समझो डिमांड कैसा रहेगा ऊंचे प्राइस में. अभी समझो ऊंचे प्राइस में दाल का डिमांड थोड़ा कम हुआ है जो पहले नीचे प्राइस में था उससे, आप समझो तो. दूसरा कोविड का सिचुएशन अभी कैसा है वो भी देखना पड़ेगा, आगे जाके होटल इंडस्ट्री कैसा चलता है. दूसरा कंज्यूमर जो है, मिलर्स जो है, वो ऊंचे प्राइस में उन्होंने भी आगे नुकसान किया है, तो वो लोग भी कैसे उसको एक्सेप्ट करेंगे ऊंचे प्राइस में. यानी हैंड टू माउथ सब लोग चलेंगे और सिचुएशन थोड़ा ऐसा रहेगा. ऊंचे प्राइस में सबको डर तो लगता ही है, समझो.
ठीक, थैंक यू.
5-10% का टीजी तो समझो आना ही है.
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
गवर्नमेंट का क्रॉप का एस्टिमेट है कि समझो क्रॉप कम है, लेकिन क्रॉप बिल्कुल नहीं है ऐसा तो नहीं है, क्रॉप है, लेकिन समझो अभी
टाइम की वजह से मैं आपका क्वेश्चन नहीं, आप बिल्कुल तेजी में ये मान लिया, बात सही बात है. और मैं विक्रम जी के पास जाऊंगा. I'll go to Mr. Vikram. What do you see about the mung prices going forward?
Mostly stable it will be, and till March, April it will be stable, or it may be raised 300, about 200 to 300 if demand is very good. Just now Bharuch crop has been started, and in March it will be Andhra crop will be start. So there is so many crops, and the summer crop of MP will be start in April end. So that time it will be go very down in mung. Just now I hope that it will be mostly stable.
Stable, okay. But okay, fine, thank you. Mr. Murthy, you know about urad price, view and price forecast. Where do you see the prices in coming Rabi prices, and then later on, as you said, after if the crop is good because of the good rains, then scene will change. So for the coming 4 or 5 months, what do you scenario see?
I will put one rider. First of all, the political situation from Myanmar should become all right. I expect the situation will be all right in another 7 to 10 days time. It won't take more than 10 days time for the situation to come back in Myanmar. Regarding the price, I will give the price idea of SQ, which is most liquid amongst all varieties. There are so many varieties in Urad, PU31, T1, and then Black Andhra Black Polish, SQ, FAQ, etc. So I will give you the price idea of the most liquid variety of Urad, that is SQ of Myanmar origin. At the moment, it's quoting somewhere about 84.50 to 85 rupees levels today. I think going forward, the correction could be the least it can fall to is 78. I don't expect SQ to fall below 78. And on the upper side, I think by the end of April or by mid-May, it has the capability of reaching beyond 95, maybe 100 rupees. This is my personal view. It can go wrong also. It's a disclaimer. Just my view.
Thank you, Mr. Murthy. And I believe with that, I think we conclude our session here. And I once again thank Mr. Murthy, Mr. Vikram, Mr. Piyush, Mr. Samir, and all my eminent panelists, and of course on above all Indian Pulses and Grain Association (IPGA), who has really done a wonderful job to have all of us to be in this panel and share our thoughts. So finally, I can say that the tour prices are northbound, black market also a little northbound, and Moong is east to west. So this is the conclusion of this panel. Is there? Please take your call accordingly, and thank you once again. Good luck.